Hello, my name is Anjani Segrist, and today I'm reading the astrology chart for the upcoming solar eclipse, which is happening on August 21st at 11:25 a.m. for Pacific Standard Time. And the solar eclipse is going to be happening at 28 degrees of Leo, so the sun and the moon are right together at 28 degrees Leo, and the north node is right next to the sun and moon. So you can see there's a lot of dynamic things happening with this solar eclipse. So we've been having this grand fire trine happening for a while with Saturn over here in Sagittarius, and then Saturn right now is trine to the North Node, the Moon, the Sun, and then over here we have Uranus, who's known as sort of a wild card, trickster. I like to think of this as shifting the assemblage point. So wild, unexpected things happening that get us to get out of our normal routine. And, I've been feeling that a lot in the last 2 weeks or so, which it's great. It's an amazing thing for me, but I realize that some people, it is a disruptor. Uranus is actually known as a disruptor. So it is disrupting, and not everybody loves to have their routine disrupted. So that's something to think about for everybody, because this grand fire trine is affecting us all, no matter what you have on your chart. And I'll show you a couple charts in just a minute here. But here's Uranus, and it's trine to, let's see, 4 different planets over here. So we have trine Mercury, which, as you know, Mercury is in retrograde right now. So this could be extra energy going toward causing those disruptors in the way that we perceive and use cognition, the way that we communicate. So those two being sharing energy with each other, it's like an extra power on what we know Mercury retrograde represents, which is sort of, there's many different people's views on it. The way that I see Mercury retrograde is a time for re-understanding, recognizing. I was mentioning to somebody today that I was searching online to update my Yoga Alliance website. So I had to look for some old dates for classes that I had given and classes that I had taken, and I found all these old emails that I had sent to a past lover, and it just brings up all these old, not only feelings, but perceptions. And so my mind to start thinking, my body starts feeling, and this whole thing starts to happen. And it's really good if you have that happen and come up, that you follow through. Let whatever is coming up have its time and space to do whatever it needs to do, because this aspect with Mercury retrograde trine to Uranus, it will bring unexpected changes in the way we are perceiving and understanding information. So there's Uranus also giving a nice, easy flow of energy to the sun and to the moon and to the north node, which we can think of as the destiny point, where we're going, and the south node being where we've been. If you've seen Moana, it's like my thing right now, because there's so much juicy material in that movie as far as like archetypes and mythology and learning and finding out who you are. It's so beautiful. It makes me cry every time I watch it. But something that Maui says in the movie is that knowing where you're going, that would be the north node, by knowing where you've been back behind you, being the south node, which is relates to our DNA, our roots, our ancestors, the tribes that we come from. Even full white people, the tribes that you come from, the land that you come from. So grabbing all that energy from there, from our DNA and our roots and ancestors and tribes, and also, where are we going and what are we here for? That's North Node. So we have Uranus trine that. So bringing up a lot of unexpected changes in where we thought we were going, who we thought we were. A lot of white people. I saw a hashtag on Instagram that said white silence is violence. And the first thing that comes to me is like, your skin may be white, but your ancestors could, because I recently did a ancestry DNA sampling thing because look at me, I never really knew exactly what my heritage is. And, the more I researched into that, people are from everywhere. You have blood and roots and DNA in you from all sorts of times and places. So, anyway, the whole point is that there's a switch and a change going on and a shift in the way that we perceive who we are and who we think we are or who we thought we were, and the way that we're perceiving. It's like taking both of those because there is no future and past. All it is really is the eternal now. So, bringing all this information in to what we're going to be experiencing with the solar eclipse, and I have no place to say what we're going to be experiencing because I don't know what it's going to be like for individuals or even when Uranus is involved. It's like one of the things that my teacher says is that expect the unexpected. Nobody can really predict. We can see what the energy lines look like and what the pattern looks like. We have this grand fire trine, which is leading to lots of action, unexpected changes, and then this has to do with form and structure. This is Saturn having to do with form and structure, the circle of grandmothers, the tribal elders, all that energy lending forth into what's happening here in the solar eclipse. So let's now talk about what is happening here in the solar eclipse, because we have this all happening in the sign of Leo. Right at the top, where the midheaven is, we have Mars there also, which is our inner masculine, the assertive energy that is going, you know, having bravado and being brave and courageous. And this is in women as much as it is in men. So when I look at Mars and Venus, since the beginning of learning about Mars and Venus, I've always had this like, yeah, but, because Mars is the masculine, the inner masculine, but it's equal in women and men. There is no, like, men don't have more Mars, women don't have more Venus. It is completely, we are complete and full of our inner masculine and complete and full of our inner feminine. Today I was reading a book which some of my friends recommended to me called Sacred Woman. It is amazing. But she said that women are like flowers and men are like trees. And instantly I was like, I'm a tree with flowers on it. That's how I feel. So really getting away from identifying with one way or the other. It's like your reproductive or regenerative organs do not define how you're going to be acting in the world or what you're going to be showing up as or the sound of your voice. I've always had a deeper voice than most girls and women, and I don't know. I love the sound of my voice now, but it was, I'm supposed to be a flower, and I've never really felt like that. I've always really felt more like a tree with flowers. So anyhow, here's Mars right there next to the North Node. So this is bravado, courage, bravery, having that kind of a aggressive, athletic prowess, So that's right up there with the sun and moon. And this axis of Leo and Aquarius, I had mentioned last week for the full moon, being Leo being ego identification, so focused on the self, and there is nothing wrong with that. And then Aquarius being cosmic consciousness. So, how focused can you get on the pinpoint identification with your own, your body, your mind, your emotions, your experience, the self interest? Leo has an interest in itself. And then down here, how big can you get? How cosmic can you go? And so that's what this axis is about. And now we have the new moon happening here, which is really, with the eclipse, it's a closing and it's also an opening to a new cycle. So, something that is coming up with this particular eclipse, because Leo wants to be showy, it wants to show up and be proud, like the lion, being, the big mane and the being big, the big jewelry and just showing up and being full of itself. So being full of itself, and also, you know, last year for Leo, something that was brought up was like, how do you appear to the world? What are you wearing? What are you showing up? Like, how are people going to perceive you? And I get it, because it is like we want to shine forth from our truest core of who we are. That seems to me more important than how you look, or if you're fitting in with, your style of dress. And one thing that the same girl who recommended this book to me, one thing she told me a long time ago, and I still do this now, is like, if you have two items of clothing that are completely like do not match, then you automatically match. So that's been like, so I might look like a clown, I don't really know, but I don't really care because it's like I feel good. So if you feel good, that is the most beautiful thing you can do. And of course, part of feeling good is honoring the body. And to me, I don't know what it is for you. For some people, it feels good to have a lot of money or to be liked by people. To me, the most valuable and most beautiful thing that I can do is honor my body, talk to my body, ask, what do you want to wear? How, sounds kind of, it might sound crazy, I don't know, but what would feel good to you right now? And I do that to choose my food, my clothes, pretty much everything. And I realized today that part of the Leo new moon, the Leo solar eclipse, can be about being interested in yourself for yourself. So picking clothing that feels good to you. Because when you feel good, that's when you really look your best. I was at the beach yesterday and was just noticing the very many different ways that people were, their bodies were, the way they were acting. And I saw this gorgeous woman who was really strong with muscles and like this great physique, but she seemed so insecure and so like covered. And you know, there's all sorts of different ways that people are experiencing their own embodiment. Really, what I find to be most important is that whatever it's really difficult to make somebody feel good about themselves, or for somebody to genuinely exude this feeling of self-interest, of being the selfie, like taking pictures of themselves, admiring themselves, loving themselves. It's not something that you can make up. You can't just I mean, there is always fake it till you make it, and that's always been really great for me personally. In a lot of things that are uncomfortable for me, I will just do it and pretend, and I can do that. So maybe try that, but um, pretending that you're going out to a dinner party with somebody who you're really attracted to, somebody you really admire, and dress up, get ready, like if I'm going on a date, which I'm not, and I haven't been in a while, but for my own personal reasons. But if I'm getting ready for a date, I'll usually prepare like the whole day from everything. So because my skin, I might even go get a massage and soak in a hot bath and use essential oils and just have my whole space being like exuding this love and beauty for myself. And when I'm just overflowing with this beauty and love, that's the most beautiful thing. So it doesn't matter what I'm wearing or if my hair is done or how my hair is done. I rarely do anything to my hair, honestly. None of that matters. And so when your sense of self worth is coming from the external things, anything external really, the car that I'm going to pull up to the place in, or what I'm wearing, how my body looks, how my hair looks, how my face looks. None of that stuff matters. So, and I feel like when you are filling yourself up for your own self, whatever comes out is going to be beautiful. So have your cake and eat it too. Spoil yourself, give yourself gifts, and this ending of a cycle and beginning of a new cycle, for me anyway, really has a lot to do with letting go of and accepting myself. And so, leave a comment and let me know what is moving for you. I have a chart here that I wanted to show. This is somebody who was born in Canada, and the solar eclipse is right over here in Leo, conjunct with her south node, which is karma, past, history, lineage, patterns, addictions. All this stuff is in the south node where she's been. And then the north node is always going to be in opposition to the south. So this solar eclipse is really blasting through this whole, making sort of like a portal for all this information for her. And she's also got on her chart the moon, Venus, and the north node just in direct opposition to what's happening here for the solar eclipse. So this is again her lineage, everything from her past, her karmic patterning, her moods and emotions, mother, her own mother, everything that the moon represents, and then her inner feminine. So this is in Aquarius. We both have Venus in Aquarius. And also her north node, her destiny, where she's going. All of this is being sort of, so when I'm talking about this as being like a vortex or a portal of energy, it's like everything that's in that pathway for you is sort of, having this great illumination and great contraction of light, like all in the same little chunk of time. So it's literally closing and opening, and in a very big way. So look on your own chart, whatever you have passing in that. I had mentioned this on my Instagram page that for myself, here's the stuff happening in Leo. It's all square to my rising sign, which is in Taurus, which has to do with pleasure, beauty, being in healthy receivership, and really enjoying having a body and being in the body. So we would say that this is sort of giving a little extra friction on that for me. And that would be what I'm looking at as where the shift is happening for me. So it's going to be a little bit different for everybody. So look at your chart. If you have any chart questions, I'm doing a special. So if you want to get a mini reading, which is just going to focus on a few aspects of what's happening with Mercury retrograde and with the solar eclipse, you can hire me to do that, and I would love to. So thank you very much. I talked on and on. I got a little bit mind boggled in that whole little section talking about self-love and self-reverence and appreciation of the self, and having that be what's important. Like when you walk out into the world, not having it be about your clothes and your hair and your face and all of that, but more about that you are good in, you are secure here. So it doesn't matter what else you're doing. You can still put on makeup and do your hair fabulous and wear whatever you want. And it's just going to be so much more beneficial and beautiful when it's really in alignment and answering your question of, what do I want to wear? What makes me feel beautiful? And then doing those things, not because you think you should or whatever else. So thank you so much for watching the video. Please subscribe to the channel and ask any questions. I love interacting, and I look forward to connecting with you soon.